I've been an iPhone user for a long time, years. The ecosystem was comfortable, it was familiar and safe. For years, I didn't see a reason to look elsewhere. Apple had me hooked. But then, things started to feel stagnant. Year after year, the iPhone updates felt incremental. The excitement just wasn't there anymore. I started looking at what Android manufacturers were doing. And some of it was pretty wild. The innovation seemed to be happening elsewhere. That's when the OPPO Find N5 really caught my attention. That folding screen technology just looked incredible. The idea of a phone that could transform into a small tablet was compelling. It felt like a glimpse into the future, and I wanted a piece of that. So I decided to take the plunge. I knew switching ecosystems wouldn't be easy, but the allure of the Find N5 was too strong to resist. It was time for a real change. The iPhone had served me well, but its chapter in my tech life was coming to a close, at least for now. Going into this data migration, I had certain expectations. I figured it would be a bit of a pain, maybe a solid afternoon of focused effort. I'd transfer my stuff, get the new phone set up, and be on my way. I've switched phones before, even within Android, and it's usually manageable. So, iPhone to Android, how much harder could it really be? Boy, was I wrong. It turned into a multi-day saga, a real test of patience. The initial excitement quickly gave way to the dawning realization that this was going to be a much bigger undertaking than I had anticipated. The first major hurdle is the lack of iCloud's universal convenience when you're jumping to Android. Apple's ecosystem is famously walled, and it makes escaping a complex affair. Moving my photos was actually pretty simple. I just used the OPPO Transfer app with a USB-C to Lightning cable, and everything copied over quickly and smoothly. But then came the apps. I had to reinstall every single one from the Play Store one by one. It was a tedious, never-ending process. And the worst part? I had to reset my password more than 50 times. Seriously, I lost count. Every app wanted a fresh login, and half of them made me jump through hoops. The real trouble started with the app-specific data. This is where the ecosystem differences really hit hard. Messages were one thing, but then came the app I probably use more than any other for communication, and that's where the real chaos began to unfold. This was just the tip of the iceberg. Let's talk about WhatsApp. This was, hands down, my biggest source of anxiety during the switch. Years of chat history, important conversations, media, everything I cared about was on the line. The official WhatsApp transfer method from iPhone to Android exists, but it can be finicky and unpredictable. I knew this was going to be the make or break part of the migration. Losing that data just wasn't an option. At first, I made a rookie mistake, logging into WhatsApp on the OPPO before the official transfer was complete from the iPhone. Big mistake. Huge. Logging in and out repeatedly can flag your account or worse, lead to issues with the transfer. So, a word of warning. Do not just casually log in and out of WhatsApp on new devices during a transfer, especially if things aren't going smoothly. After some frantic searching, I found a third-party app called Mutsapper, designed for these kinds of cross-platform WhatsApp transfers. But even then, it only managed to migrate about 90% of my data. My chat groups kept crashing the app, and some messages just never made it over. For a smooth transfer, being prepared ahead of time can save you a lot of time and frustration. Then there were my notes. I relied heavily on Apple Notes. Apple Notes, unsurprisingly, doesn't have a straightforward export to Android option, so I ended up having to manually copy and paste a lot of the crucial ones into Google Keep. This whole seamless transition idea was quickly becoming a distant memory. So what did I learn from this chaotic switch? Lesson number 1, and it's a big one. Do your homework. Thoroughly research the migration path for every single important app and data type before you even start. Don't just assume there's an easy way, because often, especially when crossing the iOS-Android divide, there isn't. Understand the limitations, the potential pitfalls, and what tools or third-party apps might be needed. Knowing what you're up against can save you a lot of headaches and unexpected delays. Here are my top useful tips for a smooth transfer. Tip 1. Get that USB-C to Lightning cable ready before you start. Tip 2. Charge up both your old and new phones to 100% before starting the transfer process. Tip 3. Use the native WhatsApp data transfer as the very first step when setting up your new phone. Otherwise, data transfer will only work if you do a factory reset on the OPPO. If you don't want to factory reset, download and buy Mutsapper, but be prepared to lose some group chats. Have it ready. Download any potential third-party transfer apps and read their instructions carefully. And most importantly, arm yourself with a mountain of patience. This isn't a sprint, it's often a marathon, especially if you have a lot of data. Rushing things can lead to mistakes, and mistakes can lead to data loss. Take your time, step by step. And I'm using the OPPO Find N5 daily. The device itself is incredible. That foldable screen is a game changer for productivity and media consumption. So, was the chaotic switch worth it? For the chance to experience this new tech, yes. But if you're thinking of making a similar jump, be prepared. It's a commitment. Go in with open eyes and a full battery. Using the OPPO N5 Fold phone with its dual screen is the best thing that can happen. It's an engineering marvel that makes gaming, viewing, and surfing so much better.